Galaxy Cruises and Tours.
Hello, it's Ken Mayer, Galaxy Cruises and Tours. Thank you for joining us. Today I'm talking about our Christmas Market River Cruise program that we have in place for next year. This is December of 2027, and our program will actually begin on November 29th through December 9, 2027. We have a great program in place, visiting Germany and a lot of the Christmas markets that are located there. This is a great place to be. The Christmas market started several hundred years ago in Germany, so it's a very unique tradition for Europe, but at the heart of things in Germany. So our program next year will be hosted by Wendy and Shannon, and we're going to include the 5 night river cruise with Avalon through on the main river. This goes from Frankfurt to Nuremberg, and then we'll travel into Frankfurt ahead of the cruise and stay the night. And then at the end of the cruise, we'll do a 3 night hotel stay in Munich, which offers some additional fantastic things to do. All the transportation is included, most of the meals are included, several of the sightseeing programs, of course, during the river cruise are included. And you're going to see all these picturesque villages along the main river, the romantic road that begins in Würzburg. You'll have several Christmas markets that you'll experience, as well as some guided sightseeing. And the travel, of course, at the end of the trip in Munich is fantastic because it will give you some time to either visit Salzburg or Neuschwanstein Castle, or you could actually do both if you wish. And we have a lot, of course, built into our program, just like we always do. We have our transportation from here. We'll put you on the airplane out of our local airport when we get our air figured out. Round trip air transportation in coach. We'll have excellent hotels in Frankfurt and Munich, and then of course that 5 night inclusive river cruise through the heart of Germany. Cruise gratuities are included. Sightseeing during the river cruise is included. All your meals on the cruise, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, are included. We have breakfast at our hotels. And then, of course, we'll have our transportation as needed to move you around. And this cruise itinerary does blend not only some of that sightseeing aspect with the Christmas markets, but it also gives you some free time to either have extended time in the Christmas markets or do some additional self-exploration in the area if you wish. And then, of course, on all those components that are included, we have all the taxes and fees that are associated to that travel. Few things not included. Airline seating upgrades. This is low season for air travel. And so a lot of times you can get into some of the upgraded seats for not a lot more money. We will have that discussion later, but we'll have those available. Travel insurance would be additional. There's a little bit of luggage movement at the airports and your hotels. Um, Obviously, you don't have to mess with that when you're on a cruise ship, which is nice. And then, while there are included excursions on the cruise, there will also be potentially a couple of extra excursions that you can pay for. And then during our extra time in Munich, you'll have time to consider joining one of those optional excursions that we'll offer for you. Any meals that are off the cruise ship are not included. We do have breakfast at the hotel, but the rest of the meals would be on your own. And then any items of personal nature and souvenirs you would pay for. And just to note, if you live in a different city, would like to join us, you can still do that. We can get airfare hopefully from your hometown. And then again, those airline seating upgrades will be available, and we can talk about that when the time comes. Your cruise ship is with Avalon. It is the Avalon Panorama. And there's a lot of great things to say about Avalon. They're a fantastic river cruise company. Been voted best river cruise by USA Today. And our experience with them on this same ship when we did our Christmas market trip last December, 2025. She's excellent. I think what makes her stand out the most, in my opinion, is the panoramic view rooms are very unique in the river cruise world. They are the only ships right now that have that layout and design. So they're a little bit extra size. They have floor to ceiling windows. The bed faces the window, and that extra space in that room compared to some other river cruise companies is what sets them apart. Now, they do have some regular standard rooms that would not have the views, the floor to ceiling views, but it is the panoramic view suite that I recommend with Avalon. And of course, it's an inclusive environment with top level service, excellent food, state of the art room, and ship amenities. And this is a very small ship. You're talking 160 passenger ship, so it makes it even better in that small ship cruise environment. And our package prices, including the airfare and all those things we talked about, the standard room is 56.29 a person. The panoramic view room would start at 70.59. That would be a deck 2 location. And for 71.99, you can have the deck 3 panoramic view location, which is the room location I would recommend. Does put you up a little bit higher on the views. And then there are two royal suites. I do believe there is one left. Those that would be 84.19. So an additional setting room, extra space in the royal suite if you'd like to splurge a little bit. And then one really good benefit with these particular trips is they do offer a single rate without a supplement. So the deluxe room for a single would actually start at 52.89, which is an excellent rate. Now, if you want to have the panoramic view, we can give you those prices. So an excellent rate, excellent trip for a single to join because we'll have other travelers in our group. So we can have your room to yourself, but you won't be alone. And our schedule begins November 29th. We'll get you to the airport on your overnight flight into Frankfurt. Airline flight times and names, all that stuff will come later. We'll work on that when the time comes and communicate the details. Should you live in another city, we can fly you from there. That can be arranged. You just need to let us know what you'll need. And that's an overnight flight. So then on the 30th is when you will arrive into Frankfurt. Should be a morning arrival. We'll get you transferred over to the hotel where you can have the rest of the day at your leisure. We don't know our hotel, but we'll know that when those details come, and we'll have that conversation. And this is the week after Thanksgiving, just so you're aware. You can have your Thanksgiving together with your family, and then that following week, embark on a fantastic Christmas market river cruise experience. So December 1st, you're going to be getting on board the ship. You're going to be setting sail, and you'll cruise from Frankfurt into the village of Miltenberg. It's just a short distance down the river, and a nice welcoming to your river cruise for 5 nights. Then once in Miltenberg, you'll have a little bit of free time, a small walking tour, and there is a castle in Miltenberg if you'd like to venture up the hill to have a better panoramic view of the river and the town. Not a lot of time in Miltenberg, but be there for a little bit, and then the ship will begin sailing again on into Würzburg. A little bit of daylight will still exist. It does get darker earlier this time of year, but you'll have a little bit of daylight as you are cruising. It is kind of nice scenic area as you make your way to Würzburg. Once in Würzburg, you'll have a sightseeing tour of this fantastic little village, town. And then, of course, in the afternoon, you'll have some free time, or you can pay a little extra to join an optional excursion into Rothenburg. In Rothenburg, you would be able to see the Katie Wolfhart German Christmas Museum, which of course has an extensive collection of German Christmas decorations. But Rothenburg is a preserved medieval village that still has most of its wall intact and is a fantastic little village to visit. So we'll be busy. They have their own Christmas market. It is very popular this time of year, but what a fantastic little experience to get. And then you'll still have some time to enjoy Würzburg before or after the excursion into Rothenburg. And then you'll sail to the next city, which ironically is another burg. This will be Bamberg. So in Bamberg, again, you'll get some guided sightseeing of the city and the village, and then you'll have some free time to enjoy their Christmas markets, sample, of course, some of that food and the mulled wine. And then this will be one of those onboard workshops where you can learn how they decorate the candles. And there's always some live entertainment they bring on board. So this will be one of the evenings they do that as you overnight cruise into Nuremberg. And then, of course, in Nuremberg, you have another tour that's included. Actually, a choice of tours here. You can do a guided city tour with the cathedral and the castle, or you could tour out in the rally grounds, which was the grounds used by the Nazi Party and Third Reich. And so, historical tours in both locations, but both are excellent to do. And then there will be some free time for you, of course, to enjoy the Christmas markets that evening. Again, sample some of the Christmas market food, and then back on board the ship, another cooking demonstration with gingerbread. And then you're spending the night there in Nuremberg because the next day the cruise is over. You'll be heading on into Munich. Um, on that drive down from Nuremberg to Munich, we'll make a stop at the Dachau Memorial Camp for a quick tour, learning of the history of that place. And then into your hotel later that afternoon where you'll have free time that evening to either enjoy the Christmas market in Munich, or you could do an Oktoberfest experience at the Hofbrau restaurant. Then the next day will be your choice to enjoy Munich, take a tour into Salzburg, Austria, or you could go to Neuschwanstein Castle. And so these next few days here, we'll kind of customize that for the group, and we'll probably have more specifics and details on all that around April. But this would be one of your free days to pick and choose as you wish. And then you would have one of those choices again to do again on December 8th. So whether that be a sightseeing tour to the other place or that you didn't go to, or you could again enjoy Munich. And then, of course, December 9th, you're going to hop back on a plane, fly back home. When you get back here, we'll bring you back to Galaxy. So again, inclusive package, fantastic river cruise experience with the Christmas market theme. $56.29 per person starting price. Panoramic view rooms available. Deck 3 is my suggestion, and an excellent opportunity for someone traveling as a single to not have to pay a lot of an upcharge. Our payments are pretty simple. 500 per person is the deposit to join. We'll collect another 500 later this fall in October. another payment installment in February, and again May 1st. And then your final balance would be due August 25th, 2027. And since we are planning farther out, if you want to start making a monthly payment installment, we can make those arrangements as well. It's real easy to join. You just give us a call, 417-451-5468. Wendy and Shannon will be your hosts. I put their email here, Shannon at Galaxy Online or Wendy at Galaxy Online. We look forward to helping you discuss the trip, make your decision to join us. It's a fantastic experience. Highly recommend it. Hope you'll come with us. And if you need any other assistance, we're happy to help you with other travel. And we have other groups and programs going throughout the year. We'll share that link here next. And thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.